The Argonauts, another important myth of Greek civilization. The Argonauts are literally the sailors of the vessel called Argus. Argus derives from the name of its builder, its designer, Argus, but the wood from which it was made was a magic wood. It was a talking vessel. So this is the origin of this myth. The protagonist is Jason, a prince of Greece who flees the attempt to be murdered, of being murdered by his stepfather, and he decides to go east. He sails with 40 special soldiers, princes, in order to capture the golden fleece, which was the magic skin of a ship that would give superpowers and magical strength to whoever wore it. So it's a sail that goes with adventures, encounters with different peoples and characters. For example, the Amazons or the women of the island of Lemnos, until they arrive to the Colchis, the magic golden kingdom where he has to trick the inhabitants in order to capture the golden fleece and go back to Greece. The Colchis is located somewhere the shores of the Black Sea in what would now be Armenia, Ukraine. We don't know for sure, but the important thing is that this is another story about perseverance, about bravery, about love, and also about abandonment, because the princess of Colchis, Medea, is abandoned by Jason when he decides to go back to Greece. Another important feature of this trip is that it overcomes several obstacles, like the Cyanean rocks that crush the vessels that are trying to cross the Strait of the Bosphorus. And finally, Jason goes back, and the story has a happy ending. Like many of these myths, it's a myth about the foundation of a kingdom in Greece that has nurtured the imagination of many other adventurers and explorers through the centuries. The myth of the Argonauts is present, for example, in the conquest of the Americas, just as later the myth of Aeneas, the character of the Aeneid, would be present also in the imagination of the conquerors of America. So the reference to ancient Greece, to the myths and old stories about Ilion or Troy, about Ithaca, the kingdom of Odysseus, about the Colchis and Jason, the conqueror, traveler, are part of the imagination of the early modern explorers, the early modern conquerors that crossed the Atlantic in the late 16th century and during the 15th century and during the 16th century.